obviously, a tough end to the season last year. Well, actually, we beat Utah in the Rose Bowl, but other than that, obviously, we never want to see us losing to Michigan. But you know what? We'll stomach that loss. We'll put it into the deep recesses to bring it back up this November when y'all come and play in Columbus. But the bright thing that I see is that we've got a lot of good guys on our offense returning. Obviously, CJ Stroud, Travion Henderson, JSN, the number one receiver in the country, an offensive line that I think is going to hold their own this entire season, and a defense who, while we still have some questions, I think they will make an improvement from last year, if I'm just going to be honest.
From what I'm hearing, and I've been binge watching a ton of OSU content because I'm just bored right now. Y'all got the offense, of course. What can you say about them besides I'll get too pass happy and forget to run? But defensively, that's the question mark. That's the question mark. And y'all thin at corner somewhat. Yeah, I know. Jim Knowles, will he be able to make y'all defense hold up against the run in powered football? Because Oklahoma State, he had the super seniors when he finally got a top 10 defense, and he runs a complex scheme. So it's not just a basic type scheme. It's kind of complex, and it's, dare I say, similar to Don Brown's.
Sheesh.
It's similar to that. So
Sheesh.
be careful. Be careful.
I have been very surprised that people have been willing to make that comparison, given what it, meant for us to have a Don Brown kind of defensive coordinator in the Big Ten. So to see them go that direction and to I've heard people on Ohio State's end of it say that, yeah, it's more like Don Brown. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we'll see what it comes from. I agree with you on Jim Knowles. It's interesting because he has, I think, guys at Ohio State that fit his style of football a little bit better. Safeties, secondary players, wide ends, guys that can play the 3 and the 5 technique. But the thing is, the 3-3-5, and I'm speaking from experience, from watching, Greg Robinson trying to bring that defense here with Rich Rod. It ain't worth nothing trying to stop the run. So I guess that would be my question to you, Josh, is that Jim Knowles, while he put up some good numbers at Oklahoma State, is there any concern about him adjusting to the Big Ten running games as opposed to the more pass-happy offenses in the Big 12?
I guess I'm a little bit concerned about it being maybe a little bit thin in the box. And I think we have some questions at linebacker too. But I think our defensive line has a couple of 5-star recruits, if I'm not mistaken. JT. I think we've got another end that's a 5-star recruit. So I'm hoping that our defensive line can kind of handle a little bit of what's going to come at them. I don't know if it's going to be a little shaky compared to guys like Hassan Haskins running at them, or you guys have Blake Corum now. Let me correct myself. Blake Corum. It's going to be a little tough against maybe the best running backs in the Big Ten. So yeah, I'm a little worried, but not too worried.
I got a question too, because I don't get to talk to Ohio State fans actually, in person. So face to face. What y'all feel any type of way because Michigan, what we did to y'all, that was somewhat of a blueprint on defense of how to slow y'all down. We didn't. I still threw for 400 yards or close to it, but it was more of a dink and dunk and how to make spectacular plays, and it wasn't nothing too special. It was right man defense. Not Don Brown. 2 safeties over the top. No big chunk Olave 50-yarders and Garrett Wilson 40 and 50-yarders. It's dink, dunk, and get it like that. Does that worry y'all at all? I don't think it does. y'all so
I'm gonna be honest with you, not so much. Because whether you talk about throwing the ball or you talk about running the ball, I think we've got pretty much everything covered. So if that's the way we got to play, I think we have it covered. I'm confident in saying that we've got it covered.
I said because Ryan Day, he wants to get it all in one play.
Oh, for sure. for sure. And I don't know if we're going to be able to do that against every team, but I think we got it covered. I feel comfortable enough in saying that we got it covered. Just saying.
See, y'all some cocky. Y'all some cocky man.
See, last year though, I'm on tape saying I wasn't comfortable with running up the score by 50 points and just kind of coasting the entire game. Like, that's nothing I'm ever comfortable with doing. But this year, I think I'm probably going to have to embrace that because I don't think we're going to be that much better on defense.
The defense kind of took the blame for some of the, I would say, pace issues with Ohio State's offense is kind of how I would describe it. It's one thing to be able to go down the field and score in 30 seconds. You always need to go down the field and score in 30 seconds. If you know you have a defense that's at jeopardy, or if you know that you don't have a running game that can run out the clock when you get ahead, does it behoove you to keep giving the ball back to the other team? You know, and I think that was something that kind of got them. Even when they were playing us, you guys would score. When you did score, you scored quick drives, quick plays, big plays. Right? It wasn't long, methodical. When you did get into the end zone, they were big plays.
I think that was a lot of the game plan going into pretty much every game is we're going to score often and early and just do what we do. But I think maybe looking at the game clock a little bit and having more slow, methodical drives would be key against teams who are more dangerous. Your Wisconsins, we play Penn State away, and obviously you guys. So, yeah, we might have to take a look at that and see, you know, if that's going to play a factor.
I keep looking back at y'all's schedule. Y'all have a pretty decent schedule this year. Y'all have an actual gauntlet this year. Y'all actually going to have to play.
Some tests.
Yeah, no Buffalo in the out of conference. They saved that for us this year.
But on the flip, I don't see too many tests for you guys. I mean, Michigan State's probably going to want some rec, obviously, and then it's us. I mean, you guys don't have really anything in non-conference games. It's looking pretty simple for you. It's looking like a cakewalk.
Josh, I got one more question for you.
One more? Okay.
Give me something that the rest of the college football landscape isn't thinking about right now for Ohio State. We know JSN, we know Travion Henderson, we know CJ Stroud, obviously. What aren't the rest of the college football landscape thinking about Ohio State right now?
The eyes are obviously on the defense. I think there's two things that I see, and that's the defensive line being able to stop the run. I really like JT. I think it's Tui Malau. I've literally never heard his name said, but anyway. And then I think the depth at safety. I think we've got like 3 5-star recruits at safety too, who are probably itching to get some playing time this year. And we've got guys like Ronnie Hickman, Proctor. Like, we've got serious depth at safety. So I like the way that looks for us, especially playing a 3-3-5.
I got one quick question. I don't know if you saw it. Who is that? I don't know if y'all saw this video of he's committed to OSU, and that was one of the hardest hits I've seen. The dude is in high school, and he decleated somebody on a deep post.
See this? This is my boomstick.
I haven't seen it. I'm gonna have to check that out. But yeah, no, we've got a couple of recruits this incoming year, so I think it's probably
test him.
That's crazy. All right, let's talk Michigan. Let's talk the Michigan Wolverines after doing what seemed to be the impossible last year, winning the Big Ten championship. Great. And obviously going on to the playoffs and getting a defensive linebacker into the Heisman finalists. Still don't agree with all of that.
Which is a normal occurrence for Michigan if you think about it. Charles Woodson, Jabril Peppers, you know what I mean? Aiden Hutchinson. We're gonna send another one. Just be ready. Just be ready.
It ain't gonna be this year because you guys have you guys haven't really returned a lot of people on your defense. Aiden Hutchinson, Ajabo, Ross. He's not back, is he?
Ross is gone.
John Ross is gone. Brad Hawkins. So that's.
And you guys are literally toured the world to replace them at this point. So, thoughts on what you guys' defense is going to look like?
defense, and this is what I was touching on a few minutes ago. We played a ton of players last year, and that's the thing that people don't realize. So they're not first time. Most of them aren't first time starters, at least in the secondary and linebacker. So, like I was just saying, Rod Moore. People don't know this. He had 10 tackles in the OSU game. Started most of the year. RJ Moden. He played. Could have had a pick in the OSU game. He dropped it, and he had a bunch of tackles. Let's see. Ron Green, like I said, started at corner, got hurt. DJ Turner took his place. Now we have both of them. So, and both our linebackers, they're young, but they both played last year. You got, let's see, D-line. We lost Chris Hinton, Donovan Jeter, Ojabo, Aiden Hutchinson. But question really for the defense is, can we get a pass rush without blitzing? Will we have to blitz to get the pass rush? Now, we've got guys. We've got guys in Brandon McGregor, Taylor Upshaw, Eric Moore, Mike Morris, Chris Jenkins, Jalen Harrell, TJ Guy. We're deep at D-line, but they're unproven on the edge. So we don't know how good they can be getting to the quarterback. So that's the wait and see about the defense. Everything else, I got faith in it. It's just that edge. The interior line should be better also.
I think that you're right that the defensive line is both the biggest question mark because we lost so many players. Hinton, Jeter, Ajabo, Hutchinson, obviously. Even Jordan Whitley. He didn't play a whole lot, but he was a rotational player. You know, he was one of those nose guys. So we lost a lot of players from there. But at the same time, I feel like it's the thing that we're going to be able to depend on the most. And the reason why is that defensive line and edge has been Michigan's probably best developmental spot. Closest thing to a skill position. You know, they always say Michigan doesn't put skill positions in the league. Well, if you had to put a notch on it, I would say the defensive line, edge, and interior has been one of their best developmental positions. Kwity Paye, Josh Uche, you know, Aiden and Ajabo, obviously. Even if you take it back to other regimes, Wormley and Mike Martin and Brandon Graham, you know what I mean? It's a long line. I don't think we're ever going to have to necessarily worry about, outside of Don Brown trying to put a damn fullback at D-tackle, I don't think we'll ever have to worry about not having beef up front or having guys that can get there. Now, the thing is that everybody's thinking right now is that, we'll have to blitz more because they don't have the two bookends. They'll have to scheme something up. The thing that I don't hear a lot of people saying is that, well, yeah, you may have to blitz. That don't mean you have to bring more than 4. Right? So even though we're scheming up different pressures, you can still send 4 and drop 8.
Mm-hmm.
You can still do that. You don't have to bring 5, 6 guys. Now, if we have to do that, now we're adjusting our scheme. We're capitulating to the offense. Now that's something different. That's like 2020. And I don't think we'll be going that far back, just because, like Johnny said, Mike Morris played last year, a lot of snaps. Chris Jenkins played a lot of snaps. Junior Colson, Nakai Hill Green, those guys got a lot of snaps. So in our front 7, we have guys that have not only been in the program, but were able to produce at a certain level last year as well. So I don't see that dropping off as much. The production might, the individual production might, but as a team, I think we take a step forward, because now it's not just, okay, cover 2 bookends rush. Cover 3, 2 bookends rush. You know, it's you're going to have to give other guys opportunities to make plays. Secondary wise, I think it's going to be the strength of the team. Secondary wise, I believe it because you have guys in that secondary that have been there 2-3 years and are proven starters. Jimon Green, DJ Turner, and then you at this point, because Mike Sanders still comes over from receiver to deep back, you don't even really have a spot for Will Johnson yet. Will Johnson is going to have to crack the 2 deep. He's going to have to find his way onto the field, because now you got G-Man Green, you got Jamon Green, you got DJ Turner, obviously you got Rob Moore and RJ Moten back there, and then the talks coming out of camp is that Makari Page might end up starting over one of them. I wanna ask you about the quarterback stuff. Even though now I feel like we got, with Cade being named captain, we got a clear idea of what it's going to be, at least starting the season. And obviously, I've heard a lot of your work and your thoughts on JJ and Cade. Seeing that Cade was able to at least get us in positions to win games. I'm not saying that Michigan's offense put themselves on Cade's back and he took them to the promised land in many of these games. I'm saying that he was able to competently lead the offense, because we've seen more talented quarterbacks than Cade McNamara come out there with Michigan and not be able to put together a season that he did. Completion percentage-wise, decision-making, turnovers, what have you. You know, I know 15 touchdowns and 6 picks is not sexy, but if it gets you a Big Ten championship, you know, it becomes hard to take that away from that guy, at least preemptively. And what I've seen a lot in this offseason was people kind of like expecting Jim Harbaugh and everything that you know about Jim Harbaugh to anoint McNamara based off of potential and not necessarily what was earned. So what do you think is going to have to happen? Because I do think JJ starts eventually in this season. And I didn't think it was going to come out of fall practice, because if you value consistency and not turning the ball over, and you got a guy that's doing that all through camp, you're not going to unseat him. What do you think is going to have to happen for that to happen, though, throughout the season? What does that look like? Because now we know he's going to go into the season the starting quarterback. He's the captain, so he's not going to be the backup. What do you think is going to happen for that switch to happen, to occur?
I'm not trying to down Cade. It's just I watched all these games over. I see what it was, because, you know, after we win, we kind of forget about it. Like, oh, it was a win. Yeah. And I, you know, after game by game, it's like, dude wasn't that good in the beginning of almost all these games. That's why this game was close. And now they're saying Cade was lighting it up. That's what they're saying. And he was talking today saying he's playing his best ball ever. That's what he said. So if he is, I'm gonna ride with it. All I want is somebody to be great. That's all I really care about, you know. So if he's doing that and the offense is moving well and he's consistently picking teams apart, then that's fine. You know, JJ's gonna get in for his packages. If Cade struggles in a game, I think Harbaugh's leash on him will be quicker. His leash is gonna be quicker, because JJ's he knows the offense by now, and he knows Harbaugh knows what he can do. So his leash is gonna be quicker, because last year at the end of the season it got a little quicker. Like, all right, you're inconsistent. JJ, get in there, see what you can do. But my only worry is if Cade has a good season, say he throws 23 touchdowns, I'm not sure he's gonna go pro. That's really what I'm somewhat worried about. If he has a great season, his stock is probably gonna shoot up. So he'd probably be like, all right, bro, money's there, get it. But if he just has a good season, like 23, 24 touchdowns, I think this dude might come back. And then we're gonna have a problem. Yeah. Because 5 stars are gonna be like, wait a minute. You had this dude and you refused to give him the job, and he's had to sit and never got to play, just wasted away on the bench. They're coming in for packages. It's gonna hurt us in recruiting. Like, I mean, I hate to say it like that because it sounds like a dumb problem, but it's a real problem we got.
I agree to a certain extent that he, coming from where he's at right now, like he's not projected to even get signed. Like he's not projected to be drafted at all.
Exactly.
So he's going to need a type of season like 3,000 plus yards and 25 plus touchdowns, and still be the ball protector that he's been, showing that he can not turn the ball over. That may be too much for Cade McNamara, because while I do think that he's one of the best leaders we've had at that position since Harbaugh's been there, he has physical limitations. There are certain throws that he can't make, or at least can't make at a high level. And then that limits you on what you can call. On the reverse of that, with JJ, I feel like JJ's 6'3", 200 pounds, right? Cade McNamara is barely 6 foot tall, and he may be a little bit heavier than JJ, but not by much. Right? We obviously know it looked like he got a little bigger, but I don't think that they too far off weight-wise. Obviously, we know the athletic traits go to JJ. Some of the intangibles go to Cade. If that's the case, and we've gone through 8-9 weeks of fall practice, and they still landed on Cade McNamara. If you trust the coaches that are there to develop these players, then what has to be coming out of there is inconsistency from JJ. And that should make us nervous.
I don't doubt that he's turning it over sometimes, because he's a gunslinger. I don't doubt that, because you got to remember, he missed spring. He wasn't throwing it all.
Right.
So, he probably is rusty. And, when you're not throwing, you can look at film and all that all you want, but it's a long time to not use your gift.
Not doing it is doing it.
Yeah, that's a long time. So I'm not surprised that even if Cade is just where he was last year, that that JJ's somewhat behind him.
But even with that though, right? That might have just won him the job out of fall, which is not. You probably could have predicted that even if JJ had a full spring. Because think about what we're saying, right? And I'm not saying you. I'm just channeling a lot of Michigan fan energy. If you saying that you want a true sophomore QB to unseat a redshirt sophomore, so essentially a junior, his second year starting after winning the Big Ten, what are you saying about the development of that quarterback, the one that started? If he's able to get unseated by the younger, less consistent gunslinger after having that type of season, what are you saying about the development of the guy who's been there? And then what does that say about how JJ is going to be developed, right? It should be a natural hierarchy, right? That you would want the player that has been there longer to be better, because that shows that your program works. That shows what you're doing with development of the quarterbacks works. Now, the thing that throws all of that out the window is when rubber meets the road and the games are played. Because just like you say, it ain't nothing until you get hit.
Yeah.
You're not doing it until you take a hit, until you got a rush coming in your face. None of that other stuff that happened in fall matters anymore, not even being a captain. Because if he can't go out there and dominate UConn, Hawaii, and I forgot, the Colorado State, then all of that was for naught. And we will see a change. I believe that because I seen a difference in Jim last year. I seen a guy who was willing to change. I seen a guy who was willing to get off of his normals. And so I think he hangs on to Cade as long as Cade proves that he can do the job. You want to ask
predictions for both Ohio State and Michigan?
Yeah, sure.
I'm pretty sure we did this before, and both of us just assumed we were going to go 12-0, and it was playoff time. Okay. That's my prediction. I mean,
what's your prediction for Michigan? What do you see us going?
I will give you guys 1 loss.
Losing to y'all?
Losing to y'all?
Of course.
Okay.
Now, you guys could lose to Michigan State, possibly. I feel like they're going to play up for you guys, but I have a little bit of confidence in you guys that you guys will make the game that you lose.
Michigan State, on them real quick, they done got a bunch of transfers.
That's their game the last couple of years.
They got a bunch of transfers, and they ain't just regular dudes. These are highly touted dudes with a lot of snaps. So I'm about tired of Mel Tucker. This dude, bro.
I got y'all going 10-2.
That's crazy.
I got y'all going 10-2. Y'all gonna lose to us. And I can't call the game. I don't know which one it's going to be, but it'll be one out of Iowa, Penn State, or Wisconsin.
That's crazy, and you know it. Let me ask you this, just to be real. Your quarterback situation is shaky at best. We just talked about it. Your defense isn't returning a lot of guys, and you probably feel a little less confident about that as well. And it's in Columbus. What confidence do you guys have going into this game?
So,
serious question.
First of all, I don't think we described the quarterback situation that people don't want. We got two good quarterbacks. We trying to figure out which one gets on the field. That's a good situation to have.
A turnover-heavy gunslinger and a game manager.
We talking about potential turnovers or what happened in practice opposed to what happened on the field.
Okay.
Anytime you've seen JJ on the field, he was scoring or making a spectacular play.
But if you really felt that way about him, would you not just start him now? Like if you felt like he was
but I'm not
that
the coach,
good.
Though.
Yeah,
I'm not the coach. I'm trying to provide as to why he's not starting.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, as far as our defense is concerned, we'll show you. Because just to explain to you, most of the players that are being replaced by guys who got starts last year. So it's not as if we're breaking in new positions. We're breaking in players who have proven they can do it on the field versus Ohio State, versus Penn State, versus Michigan State, right? They've proven that they can do it on the field. Versus
you just named different levels. So you said Michigan State and
Penn State,
did you say Minnesota?
Ohio State. I said Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State. Those are the three best teams in the Big Ten East, not named Michigan.
Sure. But in that, different levels.
Here's why I'm the real reason why I said 12-0, 10-2.
Okay.
12-0 because we're going to be 7-0 before y'all blink this year. And we're not going to have to break a sweat to do it.
Sure.
We'll be 7-0, and we will have barely had to lift our both of our fists to do it. Y'all get to 7-0, y'all will have already went through a gauntlet to get there.
So how's that a bad thing for us? So we will have face tests.
It's not a bad thing. Okay. It's not a bad thing. I'm saying you're more likely to drop a game midway through the season before us. And I'm obviously going to pick us to win the head-to-head matchup.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's the two losses for me.
Okay. But realistically, what's your actual thought? 12-0 for us, right?
That is it. 10-2. I do not believe that Jim Knowles' defense, number one, is going to be that vastly improved in year one. Number two, long term, I don't think a 3-3-5 works against running offenses in the Big Ten. And then once again, I'm saying it from remembering the god awful defensive performances when Rich Rod was here trying to run a 3-3-5. Is Jim Knowles a better defensive coordinator than anybody Rich Rod had? Probably. Is it the same scheme, same principles, same positioning, same gap integrity? Yeah, it is. So I'm going to say that in this first year of this new defense, right, and coming off of what you were thinking about the running game, not necessarily firing off, hitting guys in the mouth, still being a zone running scheme, you're going to have some trouble playing Big Ten ball this year at some point. I'm not saying it's going to be all season. I'm not saying it's going to be very common. But at some point, y'all going to have trouble playing man ball.
Well, I almost wanted to say 10-2 like he did, but I don't think Notre Dame is going to be able to pull it off. So I got y'all 11-1 losing to us. But I think pressure bust pipes. And our fans, our players, y'all putting the pressure on yourselves to do something that most of these players on this team, they ain't dead. So it's like if a Michigan fan saying last year, we're gonna win the Big Ten. You would have been like, yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? So so I'm looking at y'all kind of the same way, like a lot of these players ain't even beat Michigan before. Like,
see, when you say that though, let's put it in context. We're talking one game.
It's
We're
the
talking one
truth.
game. When we say that about y'all, it'd be like 3 games.
I get
It's
that.
one
but you
game for
gotta
us.
look back, bro. You got to look back. That's 2021, 2020,
When we didn't play.
exactly. 2019. So what's that? 3 almost 4 years since the 2019. A lot of those players by now are gone. So to be on the team now, you would have to be a senior and not play. You ain't getting that many seniors at Ohio State. Y'all the football factory. They going pro. So you ain't got many dudes on your team that's done beat Michigan. They don't know how it feels.
That's interesting.
Hey,
it's interesting because they will.
So I don't even need to say it again.
That's an interesting take because they will know.
If they can't, or you know what I'm saying. But I'm just saying it's a little, y'all in a little different position.
Take it from us. It takes time to get over that hump. You know what I mean?
Y'all putting the expectations through the roof. So,
but we've seen success over time.
I get that. Y'all had Urban Meyer's success, Jim Trust's success. Ryan Day, he still got to prove.
That's crazy that we're second guessing Ryan Day when we weren't doing that so much before. Maybe y'all were.
Things change.
I ain't played us nothing but once. So I mean twice. So the reason I'm questioning him is just because his team is becoming his team now. Urban's players, the ones that beat Michigan, most of them are gone. Physical, we gonna hit you in the mouth, run it down your throat, throw it, however we got to do, we gonna do it to you. Most of them dudes are gone. Even like I said yesterday with CJ Stroud, I don't want you to run. Urban will run CJ Stroud into a brick wall. He don't care. Who's y'all backup?
Kyle McCord.
Kyle McCord, you in. Yeah, CJ hurt. I ran him until he couldn't run no more. But we won. Ryan Day's not like that. He's telling him don't run. So, I'm just noticing the difference in coaching, so he may prove it this year, but I'm just seeing the differences in the team. Y'all team was soft last year. Let's not sugarcoat it. I was soft.
The defense was soft.
The offense was soft too. You couldn't get short yardage.
Okay. All right.
That's why I say that.
And I didn't hear none of your defensive players come out talking about the damn weather either. It was all offense over there.
Hey, look, man, the weather was a little shaky that day. Let's just
Don't start that.
Our receivers was running clean
past over the shoulder and everything, diving.
They were running clean past y'all quarters.
I gotta find another Ohio State person. I don't like this. I don't like being jumped right now. I don't like this shit.
That's it for me, man. I appreciate you coming through, J.O., as always, man.
Oh, it ain't nothing, bro. Let me know anytime y'all want to, collab or whatever. And even if y'all want to, talk, whatever, just let me know. I'm always down to, collab with somebody. I get tired of talking to myself.
For sure, man. We definitely enjoy the content. We definitely enjoy you. We'll have you on anytime you want to, bro. Give us your comments in the prompt below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and tell us what you thought.
And make sure you check out our playlist for college football. College football is actually coming up, so we will be talking about the college season as it does come up. And make sure, like he said, make sure you subscribe because we like to talk about college football topics all the time.